Bill Morehouse is the comptroller in the city of Utica. We're trying to do a little covering of the rear end here. And, of course, the mayor is Rob Palmieri, who's on the line now. Gentlemen, good morning. Thanks for coming on. Do I have either one of you here?
They're phoning a friend.
I think they're yes.
I think our speakerphone isn't working. Can you hear us now?
Oh, I do have you now.
Okay.
Yep, I've got you now. Yep.
Yeah, our speakerphone wasn't working. Bill, this is Bill Morehouse, of course. I just want to tell you, the flaw in the system was you gave the numbers out over the air. So
I know. So
now I'm going to have half of the jackpot, and you guys will split five
thanks.
the other half of the jackpot.
I
so I just want to let you know that.
You're
Let me
right.
see if we can get you on speaker so we can hear the mayor here.
That's
Hold
a
on.
very good point, and I was kind of worried about that.
About now.
But I've
there
got
we
you
go.
now. Yeah, we have you now.
Yeah, we did it on purpose.
I knew you would. I knew you would do that. Listen, the fact is, we had a chance, Mayor, Andrew and I, when we were down at the Tractor Supply announcement down in Frankfurt, to witness a debate going on right on the ground, right on the dirt.
There was
groundbreaking
groundbreaking right by us.
During the groundbreaking, and you were going back and forth with Anthony Brindisi. And I do have to say one thing, that you were adamant that you could not move forward on this unless you knew 100% that the taxpayers would be protected.
So, absolutely.
All right. Well, there we go. So clearly you have to be in a position right now where you feel like you've accomplished that goal.
Well, again, one of the things here is that I felt that was very important is to at least have the ability to negotiate a portion of the revenue from the parking. And that is in the MOU, and that was not in MOU. And I sat with Scott, I sat with Steve DeMeo, along with Ray Myers, and I believe Bill was in the room also. And that makes a much different feel to it at this point. That, you know what, when there is a revenue from the parking, the city will be able to share 40%, and the county will have 60%. And when you put on top of that the revenue that will be coming in at this point, obviously I'm not looking for additional costs for the taxpayer.
Yeah.
And so that was kind of like I felt if we were able to accomplish that, which we would. You were there. You witnessed the fact that I didn't want to put anything on the backs of the taxpayers.
I did, yeah.
And we're able to, again, that's when you negotiate and you compromise and good things happen. And, is there an investment for the city? Absolutely. It's no different than any other business. You want to look for your return on your investment, but initially you have to make an investment, which we are, the city.
Yep.
I think a state-of-the-art facility in Utica is transformational for this region. We
were like flies on the wall. We got to witness this thing firsthand, and we saw you fighting for the city, and I think that was very interesting to watch. So I thought that Steve DeMeo and the hospital group, but Steve DeMeo in particular, put on a pretty good presentation showing how you connect the dots to the point where this is a financial positive for Utica when it's all said and done. We're talking about the garage and the overall project.
Well, no question about it, Bill. If I can just jump in, the mayor did his due diligence on this thing, and he brought 3 CPAs in. They all looked over our books. They all agreed when they left my office that we had a good understanding of the numbers and we were on top of this thing, and the city could handle it. And hopefully the expected revenues are going to outweigh any expense and definitely not put any hurt on the taxpayers. They absolutely help us in the long run. So the mayor did a great job of taking his time. Now we will explain those numbers to the council. So they get a full grasp of it, and this hospital can move forward. And it's a transformational, exciting time for the city of Utica.
I do have to say, the Community Foundation came out yesterday and said, we're supporting the project, and we are going to offer our services to help the transition, whether that be business owners that are trying to do a transition. I thought this was a very good move.
Yeah.
I want your comment on that, Mayor, if you could. And then I have to ask you about Jim Brock's group, where they continuously say, basically, well, they're lying about that, or this isn't true, or they're lying to you here. Starting with the Community Foundation, Mayor.
So I think what you're finding at this is a number of people and businesses and foundations are coming together. I think everyone sees the potential and the opportunity for this region. And with the Utica or Oneida Herkimer Community Foundation. I think you see at this point they're stepping to the plate, which I think is so important at this point. It resonates the fact that this is the right thing, the positive thing to do for the region. In reference to Jim Brock and some, listen, I have the utmost respect. There's always two sides to a coin, and there's always pros and cons. I disagree with the fact that I believe there's many more pros that are advantageous for this region and city of Utica with the transformation of a medical facility in our area, in Utica, and downtown. So I think what you're looking for in downtown, it will become what it was 40 years ago, maybe a retail capital. It will become something that we have never really seen. It will become not only a state-of-the-art hospital, but it'll be a neighborhood that people will be living there with their lofts, that you'll have a mix from the people who are working as nurses to doctors to professionals at all magnitudes. You're seeing that throughout the country.
Yeah.
People are coming back into the downtown areas. Listen, we're doing extremely well at this point. And let me just add something at this point. I've been very successful. This administration, over the last 5 years, we sold 11 commercial buildings in downtown, infused close to $200 million into it, have dealt with developers and entrepreneurs. At no time have I had anybody come to me and say, hey, listen, Rob, we like to go on Lafayette or Columbia. What do you have over and through there? They are always asking the question is, what's going to be happening there? How about that hospital? And I'll link it really to Hotel Utica when we were negotiating with that. I couldn't guarantee that the hospital was coming, but that was one of the reasons why they invested close to $15 million in there. So, listen, you respect people that disagree with you.
Yeah.
That's what you need to do. But at the end of the day, you have to make a decision based on what you feel the future is for this region and the city of Utica. And I think what we have done at this point is myself and Bill Morehouse and 3 independents and talking to members of the Common Council and, quite frankly, talking to a number of the people when we're out there talking. I think the decision is, at this point, we'll move forward, and the city of Utica supports the downtown hospital.
Right. Mayor, that is a decision, as you just said, that you have made. Can you explain what happens next? Does the council need to approve? Yes. Can you just sign? What happens?
Yeah,
do they have to?
It'll be a piece of legislation, as it will be for the county legislators at this point. The memorandum of understanding will go in front of them, as Comptroller just discussed, is the fact that they'll get all the numbers, answer all the questions, and then hopefully move on from that point.
Do you know when that will happen, and are you sure that the council will approve it?
Listen, I'm not sure of anything. I could just tell you that I've talked to a majority of them, and they feel, at this point, as I do, as Bill does, this is in the best interest. Again, they wanted to make sure that, quite frankly, it was not on the backs of the taxpayers, and I think we've done our due diligence. Right. I guess, Bill, you saw me in action. I'm an advocate for our residents, and I'll do everything in my power. We have been very successful. Our track record has been very strong of going from within the financial institutes being downgraded initially to being upgraded to levels we have never have been. Economic development is very robust at this point. People are proud of our great city. Again, I use that little slogan, up, Utica proud, and we're at that level. It doesn't mean that you're always going to agree with everyone all the time, but that's where you have the opportunity to have dialogue, conversation, and compromise.
And Bill Morehouse, if I could, and we did get communication via text message through you on the issue where Mr. Brock was saying he's being told by somebody in the comptroller's office is going to bankrupt the city. You quite vehemently, completely defy that statement.
Well, Jim is very good friends with one of my deputies in my office, and I think it was early on conversations, and maybe Jim took it a little out of context. It was before we knew anything about the numbers. And, some of us were not gung-ho about the hospital project when we first heard about it, but once we looked at the numbers, looked at the potential for a transformational success here in downtown Utica, we were all on board, and there's no chance that it's going to bankrupt the city of Utica.
All right, gentlemen, Mayor and Comptroller, we really appreciate you taking the time and giving everybody an update here this morning.
You're so welcome.
All right, thanks so much.
Bye-bye.
And, Bill, don't you steal my numbers.
Make sure you come to work tomorrow.
Oh, I'll be here. All right.
I want a piece of whatever you guys have going on right now.
Okay.
Just make sure the hospital gets done.
The hospital right
we
now.
might be able to. All right, gentlemen, thank you so much. Enjoy your day. Bill Morehouse and Mayor Rob Palmieri.